Evan just came on. So Hudson, I will let you take over. The funny thing about our market center is everyone kind of like filters in over time, and they all sit in the back. So you will see no one in this front row, Hudson.
That's so exciting. I could go down such a coaching bunny trail on that, and I'm not gonna do it. And yet that's amazing. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the time. And so I'm gonna assume, just since I've done Bold in your guys' area a couple of times, that there might be a few people in the room that know me. And I'm gonna assume there's people in your room that have no idea who I am, correct?
Correct. Both.
Okay, great. Yeah. Awesome. Great. So let me introduce myself so you kind of know who you're listening to for the next few minutes. And if you want to listen to them any more than that, my name is Hudson Warren. The first thing you should know about me is that I am an agent, and I'm an active agent. Like, I still am in the business. I still service clients. And in addition to that, I also run a team. And so I have an expansion network that covers the West Coast of Florida. We're an MREA team. We have been for the last 8 years running, and I've been in the business for 19 years. So I do what you do. When the market shifts, I'm in it. When the industry changes, I'm in it. And I'm a MAPS coach. I have been for 6 years. Within MAPS, I coach Bold, and I also do one-on-one coaching at the senior mastery level. And then I have a local coaching program that I run where I take agents within our ownership group who have capped and would like to build beyond that and kind of get out of that mighty middle where so many people can get trapped. And I help them become mega agents so that they can continue on with their journey of growth. And then I'm a former team leader. Be nice to your leadership. Leadership in Keller Williams is the wildest job I've had in my 45 years of life. So be nice to your leadership. And I'm an investor. I'm a husband. I'm a dad. I have 6 kids under the age of 15. And I share all that to round it out with the last thing you should. What's that?
Can we just go back to the 6 kids under 15 and you're still doing all of this? So you're like,
we can.
Superman.
Well, something like that. I mean, I'll take the title. I'm not going to argue you. Here's what I'll share, though, that what I round out my intro with is, because it speaks to who I'm going to show up as a coach, just so you know. Like, so I take those 4 full-time jobs that I have, essentially the 4 businesses I'm a part of, and they live within a 40-hour work week. I don't know if any of you can relate. I was at a place about 8 or 9 years ago where I was really doing well. I was making great money. Everything was going in the right direction, and I was miserable. I was very unhappy. I was very stressed out. I felt like I was never actually present. I never knew what I was supposed to be doing because I was just doing everything that anybody ever told me to. And instead of like burning my whole life down, I decided that, hey, maybe I'll do that thing that people have told me about where I have like standards and boundaries. And here's what I found. I was so worried that I would lose business and lose people and lose respect. And it was just the opposite. And so if you're currently working 24/7, or you feel like you are, or you're always going in 100 different directions, I'm not here to make you feel bad about it. And if you love living that way, I'm not here to yuck your yum. If you don't enjoy that, what I can tell you is that there is an ability to do it differently. You can be highly successful in this business. You can be a great spouse, a great friend, a great parent, a great child. Like, you can do it all. It just takes a little work in figuring out what that looks like. So that's something that I am very passionate in helping people around. So that's me. And yet I'm here because we have Onward Bold coming. And before I talk about Bold, what I like to do is I like to do a brief exercise. And I find, like, I get to come in and do this a lot. I get to be a guest speaker in market centers, and I get such a limited time, and I could teach you like one little thing that might help you. But I feel like the greatest way that I can ensure that you receive value from me today is I can help you slow down long enough to get a little bit of clarity. And I find that helps us make better decisions. We move so fast that we don't always actually take stock of where we're at. So I'm going to ask us to do a little exercise. So please grab something that you can write with. It doesn't need to be, it can be little, don't stress about it. Just something you can write on and write with. And before we do it, I want to paint the picture of why we're doing this exercise. So let's just assume that at the end of this meeting today, you're going to leave You're like, wow, life is lifing. I'm going on vacation. And excuse me, and you decide to get in your car and you're going to drive somewhere that you've never been. You're going to go out of state. You're going to a city and a state that you've never been to before. Now, even if you are super stubborn like me, so no judgment, you're going to plug an address into your GPS. You're not going to wing a multiple hour drive. When you put an address in your GPS, what is the first thing that that piece of technology has to do in order to ensure you get where you desire to go?
Be where you are.
You know what? See, this is why I love launching in the Twin Cities, because no one ever says the right thing the first time, except you guys just did. So yeah, it's got to figure out where you're starting. What I normally hear is it's got to find the address where you're going. It's got to calculate a route. Well, none of that matters unless they have clarity on where you are, which is why if you're in the middle of nowhere, it really sucks when you need to plug an address in, right? So it has to figure out where you are. The point of this exercise is simply that. I am certain that I am talking to a room full of professionals that feels overworked and underpaid most days. Like, this is kind of how we live. And so that's why we're doing this. So grab your piece of paper and I want you to draw 3 circles. And I bet your 3 circles will be way closer to circles than mine. Mine are blobs. But you're going to draw 2 on top and 1 on the bottom. Okay, it doesn't matter how big it is. Don't stress about this. So 3 circles. And when you've drawn your 3 circles, we're going to label the top 2 circles. Okay, the first one's going to be business. And the second one's going to be life. So we got 3 circles, 2 on top, 1 on the bottom. We're labeling them business and life. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do in a moment is give yourself a couple of ratings. And before you do it, I want to challenge you to just be 10 out of 10 honest, because honesty is the only way that we grow. And your neighbor doesn't care what your number is. They're way too obsessed with theirs. So don't stress about that. Give the real answer and listen to my full instructions first. We're going to look at your business first. And I want you to rate your business as it sits today. And so what I mean very literally is as it sits today. Like, hey, maybe everything was great 4 months ago. Okay, but that was 4 months ago, right? Maybe you've been implementing some stuff and you're really confident that in 2 or 3 months, man, like it's going to take off. I'm not saying that's not true. And I'm saying I want you to rate your business as it sits today. I want you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being and 10 being awesome. And you cannot choose 7. So rate your business on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Do not choose 7. There are many, many studies that show that 7 is like the #1 cop-out answer, because it's not too high and it's not too low, so you don't have to feel horrible or like you're full of yourself. So put the honest answer down and don't overthink it, all right? And once you've done that, we're going to move over. We're going to move over and look at your life. And, you know, for some of us, this might be your first reminder in a while that you're not a real estate robot. Like, you have a life outside of your business. You have family and friends. You have goals, you know, wealth goals and health goals. You have passions and hobbies, all the things, right? And I want you to look at your life and as it sits, again, today and today only. Like, where are you at today? Okay, because that's all we really have. And I want you to do the same thing. Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Please don't choose 7. 10 is the best. Okay, so write that number down. Don't overthink it. And once you have those 2 numbers, we're going to do a little math. And no one in the room or in the Zoom is allowed to judge their neighbor if they need their calculator, because we mentioned I have 6 children, and I can tell you what, sometimes I'm doing very remedial homework and not knowing how to do it. So like, if we need our calculator, it's fine. And I want you to take your 2 numbers and just multiply them by each other. All right. So take your business and your life, take those 2 numbers and multiply them. If you had 6 and 5, it would be 30. And whatever the total you come up with is, I'd like you to write it in the lower circle, the one that's not labeled. So just write it down. Don't worry about it. Don't make any assumptions. Just write it down. Now, if you look at your business and you look at your life, and we're going to be honest about it, who has control over those 2 things?
You.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do. Sometimes you would never, but sometimes our friends get in the habit of blaming other people, places, and things. But at the end of the day, we are the ones that have control over that. So what I want you to do is that lower circle with that number, I want you to label that one me, M-E. When you look at your business and you look at your life, and knowing that kind of your scale of opportunity, the range you could have been, you lie within, was between 1 and 100, because 1 times 1 is 1 and 10 times 10 is 100, right? That's where you sit today. Okay. And And I simply want you to look at that number, and I want you, you don't have to do this out loud, but internally, I want you to decide how you feel about that number. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you happy with it? Are you okay with it? Are you terrified of it? Like, how do you feel about that number? If, heaven forbid, if today were your last day, do you feel like you'd be going out on a high, or do you feel like you'd be going out leaving some things behind, maybe leaving some regrets? Um, and then probably the most important question that I'll ask you, maybe one of the more important ones that you'll hear today, is if you don't like the number or you don't love the number, are you ready and willing to do something to change it? Because we already answered, the only person who has control is you. That brings us to opportunity. And after coaching Bold for 6 years, when people, especially people that are like, what are you talking about? Like, they're at another company, they're not in our industry. What do you do? What is it? Okay, well, I'm a Bold coach. Great. Well, what does that mean? Well, I would describe Bold as simply opportunity. Obviously, I can go deeper, but it's opportunity. It's an opportunity to put yourself in an environment where for 6 weeks, at least for 6 days out of those 6 weeks, you are actually focused on growth. You're focused on growing your business and growing yourself, and not just checking things off our proverbial lists that have to get done but don't really give us any satisfaction. For those of you that have never taken Bold, okay, Bold is a learning experience, and yet different from a traditional class. We take the learning experience and we add coaching, and we add accountability, and we add conditioning, so that rather than just have great notes and a really smart bookshelf, that you actually get to implement and grow your business and grow yourself. We focus on two things, a lot of things within them, and yet we focus on two major overarching topics. We focus on your mindset, and we focus on the actions that you take. Because going back to that control, the only two things that you have control over are the way that you think and the way that you behave. You don't have control over anyone or anything around you. Your mindset, your actions, that's all you get to control. So that's what we focus on. We spend 6 weeks, focusing on all of that, right? And a lot of magic happens in the room. Now, for those of you that have taken Bold before, I've kind of two directions to go, so I'll do them quickly. If you weren't with us last year and you didn't get to experience the new version of Bold, the new version of Bold is actually new. So like, it was truly rewritten. Gary Keller took over the reins and he rewrote the course, and he wrote it really directly to top agents. Now, if you're like, well, I'm not a top agent, well, great. If you'd like to be one day, you should still be in the room. And yet the material is really directed at agents who are really, really in it. Okay. If you were with us last year, here's what you can expect this year. The material has only been changed slightly, in that we've tweaked things to make it better. Last year, if you were with me, we wasn't just me. All of us coaches were getting our material literally like 3 days before we were getting in front of people. And so, I think the reviews were good, the results were good. I think we did okay, and I think at certain points people might have thought like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I've now graduated 10 more onward Bolds, so that's not the case. Like, I've got this down, I've got this mastered, just like I had the original version of Bold mastered, so it'll be smoother. This time around, we have all the market centers in the Twin Cities participating, just like we did last year. So while we will have a very large room again, what you won't have to worry about is the insanity of reporting. I've come up with some different ways to handle the reporting out and the checking of homework, where you'll still feel the accountability, because that's what you come for. And yet it will not take an ungodly amount of time, because we have so many beautiful people in the room that have come to grow themselves. So those are some things that you can keep in mind. But we go over basically everything soup to nuts, as far as what you need to not just build a great business, but to also build a great life. I would imagine I might have a few people in the room. I'm sure your leadership has met with many agents who have a great business and not a great life. And one without the other is frankly pointless. And so, where I am passionate about is taking each individual Bold student and meeting them where they are. Now, not everybody is willing to do that. Not everybody is going to come and tell me, or reach out and tell me exactly what they want to work on. But one thing that I want you to know is that if you choose to join us on this journey, that I will do everything I can to help you get what you desire out of your life, and yet ultimately you have that control. But I find when you're in the right environment, it's easier to make the right decisions. And, at the risk of boring a couple of people, because I know that there's some people who have taken Bold with me before and kind of know my story. The last thing I want to share, and then, I really just want to address any questions that are in the room, so everybody can make a best educated choice. Because I believe that Bold is encapsulated in the idea of opportunity, I want to share my story for two reasons. It's a pretty decent story about opportunity. And I have sat in your seat before, maybe not literally, and yet I've been the agent like, hey, should I do this or not? And I've sat there and I've thought, what they're saying sounds great. The class sounds great. And but if they're that great, why wouldn't they just sell more houses? Why are they doing this? So here's what you should know. So I've got into the business in 2006, and I started in Southern California, where, of course, as you can imagine, the price points are very high. I had grown up there, and it just wasn't that hard to talk to people I knew and, do open houses. And I'd sell 10 to 20 houses a year, and 10 to 20 houses a year in California is like 20 to 40 houses a year anywhere else, right? Like it's a high price point. And after 8 years of doing that, I had found myself in a long distance relationship. That's a whole other story. And I decided to pick up and move across the country and take a leap of faith and start over. And so I moved to a very small town in Southwest Florida called Estero. And when I moved, I had no sphere, and I went 9 months without selling a single home. I had spent every dollar I'd ever had. I had put myself into pretty heavy debt. I had realized really early into that move that the person I moved for when you were up close and not long distance was not the person I needed. And yet I'm as stubborn as any other male. So I was staying to make it work, right? And there was a Bold coming that October. I'd moved at the beginning of the year, and I literally, my thought was, I am not employable after this long of being self-employed. I don't know what else to do, and I have one credit card that isn't maxed out yet, so I guess I'll go to Bold. And I did, and thankfully I created enough business and momentum in that class that I was able, in the last 2 months of that year, close 7 deals. Now, my big takeaway from that first Bold, thank goodness, was that while coaching was great, the material was great, it was all great. But the real magic and the reason that I succeeded was because I had put myself in an environment that was all about forward movement, right? It wasn't what you couldn't do or why you couldn't win. It was all about how you could win and what you could do. It was not about what your past was, who you were. It was who are you becoming. It was all about forward. And so I decided to put myself back in the environment, and I ended up doing that a lot. And I took Bold 15 times over a 5-year span. And that makes me sound like a real slow learner and like I'm ridiculous. I'm not really a slow learner. I am ridiculous. I will own that title. And yet what that did for me was, while I had never sold more than 20 houses in California, I sold 7 in my first almost full year in Florida. The next year, my first full year, I went up to 24. So now I've already beaten what I'd ever done in 8 years. And then it was 49. And then it was 78. And then it was 119. And then my fifth full year in Florida, or 111, I should say. And my fifth full year in Florida, I closed 219 transactions. And it was all because I put myself in the right environment. That year that I sold 219 homes, I became a MAPS coach that year. I earned over $1 million that year. Now, what you should know about me is that I do not hold a college degree of any sort. And I come from a family that, if you look at both sides as far back as you can go, there's never been wealth. There's really not been a lot of middle class either. And I got out of the bad relationship. I got into a great one. I've built this beautiful family. I look at my life today. I have 7 streams of income and counting. I really do. I can't retire tomorrow, but I'll be able to retire pretty young. I live a really abundant life, and none of it makes sense on paper. If you look at just, oh, who will he end up to be? None of it makes sense on paper. And so I share my story because I would imagine that most of the people that are listening right now, your business is not perfect. Your life is not perfect. I'm certain that 100% of you, including myself, 100% of us, have not hit our true potential yet. And sometimes we get so busy lifing that we forget to actually take care of ourselves and grow and actually create the life that we desire rather than live the life that we fall into. And so you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to join us for this Onward Bold and to add rocket fuel to your business and to your life. Here's what I also know from talking to leadership. Your market's still relatively good, although good is such a funny term to talk about a real estate market. Your market is still overall a seller's market, but your market is changing. And I don't know what you believe, and I'm not here to control that. What I will tell you this much. You've probably been appreciating, I've been talking to other leaders in the Twin Cities, you've been appreciating for like 13 years. That's historically unheard of. Something's going to give at some point. And I'm not saying that we're going to fall off a cliff. I'm not saying we're going to crash. The market is going to continue to head more and more into a skills-based market. And without asking, and tell me if I'm wrong, I'm going to imagine that 80% of your agent population is less than 10 years in the business. Would you say that's probably right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reality is, and this is not an insult, this is just a fact, we've got a sea of people who actually don't know what to do in a skills-based market because you've never been in one. Just like I didn't know what to do when I woke up in 2009 and I was like, what the heck happened? Right? I had to learn the hard way. I'm prepared this time. I have a sea of people who isn't. And so we look back at who controls our life and our business, and it's us, right? It's not the market. It's not our ability. It's not our experience. It's who do we decide to be? So you guys have a really great opportunity here. Are there any questions that I need to address about Bold that I maybe haven't mentioned?
Anybody have any questions? No, they actually don't.
Ooh, that either means I did really great or they've all moved mentally on. Okay, so, and either one is fine because I have no control over that. I don't have a DeLorean to go back in time on. So here's what I would ask. Do you have any incentives or any reasoning for them to sign up today?
No, but we could make one.
Okay. Well, hey, what are you thinking? Let's just figure it out on the fly here. We're just two friends talking. What do you think?
Oh, we can make whatever decision you want to make today. Right, John?
Let me ask a question. How many agents do you think? I mean, I'm seeing there's like probably 8 agents on Zoom. How many agents are in your room?
About 20.
About 20?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna offer. Now, is there anybody in the room that was in Bold with me last year or either of the last 2 times?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, we got a few. They can vouch. Like here's the reality. This Bold will sell out. I'm so glad this Bold will sell out because I know that there was, frankly, a time where not all the market centers did things together because there was maybe a little rift in the sandbox. And I feel like last year we squashed that crap, which is so cool to me because I love this company. There's 12 market centers launching in this Bold. So it's going to sell out. And so I want to make sure that if you guys desire to be there, that you make that decision today. So here's what I will offer. If you get 10 people committed today, do you have paper registration forms by chance?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Perfect. Cool. And then anybody in Zoom, I'm sure, I would imagine some KW Zoom, I'm sure you can see who might comment. If we get 10 people committed today and they either fill out the form and, my assistant can process, or they go online and do it direct, doesn't matter to me. If we get 10 people committed today, I will let you draw one of their names out of a hat and I will directly Venmo or Zelle them $400 and give them half their registration back.
Wow. We appreciate you. Yeah, and
well, I appreciate you. And here's the other thing that I will throw out. I would have, because guess what? You get to have fun in closing when I leave. So and you're gonna have to walk to the back of the room, obviously, because they're not up front.
It's really not that deep. Yeah. It's the first few rows and then they go on the outside.
I love it. I love it. So I want to throw out 2 thoughts. First of all, if you're thinking, hey, I would love to win that half off, but I have questions, give them my cell phone number. I do have a number of meetings today, but there's always a break where I can answer any questions. So if there's anything I can do, because I'll give you till the end of the day to get to that 10. Okay. So that's one thing. The second thing is, if you're sitting there, here's my challenge to you, just human to human. If you are not in love with your life, in love with your business, if you are not on track to meet or exceed all the goals that you set for yourself in 2025, and you're not going to sign up for this Onward Bold, I genuinely am asking you to ask yourself, then what? Like, what is the other plan? Because as somebody who spent a lot of my own life not hitting goals and basically normalizing it and just going with the flow, it's a lot more fun on the other side when you get what you want out of life. So, so here's where I start the close, and here's where I ask who in the room or on Zoom is ready to invest in themselves and invest in their growth and register for Onward Bold. And then we got to just stare at them until people stand up or raise their hand and stuff.
I can stare at them. I'm really good at weird, awkward silence. We've got one so far. Everyone else is clapping for her. Not exactly. They actually love their life or just are excited for her to love her life.
That's so great. I feel like they should clap so hard that it makes them stand out of their seat. Here's what I'm going to do, because this is not my first rodeo, and I know that sometimes like you don't want to have the conversation in front of the person who's the conversation's about. So I'm going to challenge you as their amazing leader to maybe flesh out, because would you agree that there's probably some other people in the room that should be there?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. So I'm going to challenge you to have some conversation without me here. Let me know what questions I can address, connect them with me directly, and just know, like I said, and I don't care if it's people in the room or if you go door to door later, if you hit 10 today, I will give $400 away to one of those people. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Have the best day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Can you go over really quick, how many classes there are, how often they meet, where they're gonna
Ooh.
meet, or at least the general
We
location?
have a slide coming up.
For that. We have a
Yeah.
slide for this.
Somebody's prepared.
We are so ready for this.
And we have the QR code on the slide if you want to sign
It's
up.
frozen.
Quit showing off.
We don't have a slide for that.
Are you serious?
Needs a plant.
I would say, and I have been through, I don't know, probably, how many bowls have I done? 2 a year.
There we go.
for- right? Yeah, probably 20 different bowls, right? And then I went to Hudson's last year. I'll be really honest, reluctantly, right? Because Bold used to be, you had to make contact and it had to be just phone calls and text messages didn't work and it was like, whatever, right? It was the best Bold I think that I have ever been to. And I'm like, again, I've probably been to 16 to 18 different Bold, right? I went as leadership, but as an agent, if you honestly feel like you haven't reached your full potential, there is zero reason you should not be going to this particular event, like zero reason. And if you're going to stand up and you're going to say it's because I have no money, that's why you should be there. And we can talk about how we get you there, right? Because if that is the honest reason that you're not going, you should be there. No doubt in my mind, like at all. So, oh, we're not frozen anymore. All right, so first step to Bold is September 24th. That's free. I can tell you if that's when you're going to sign up, you most likely are not going to get a spot because there are 12 different market centers. And I believe they're cutting it off at like 200 or 250. And last year, we, I think, had like 30 people on the wait list or something like that. So you will not get in. Like, he's not joking about that. You just won't. And then second step is October 1st. We got October 8th, the 15th, 22nd, and then the final step is actually the 29th of October. This is on Wednesdays, and you're gonna kind of be like, ew, 9 to 3:30. It is fully packed during that time, including time for you to be able to lead generate. So if you're like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to run my business because I need to lead generate, which is actually a fifth, because you're not lead generating anyways, you actually have time built into that day for you to lead generate. So if you don't do it at any other point in time, you can on Wednesday, usually a half hour, 2 different times between 9 and 3:30. It is in Fridley. Again, you're gonna be like, ooh, that's a hike. I can guarantee you guys have driven farther than that for a buyer that you actually did not close. Okay, so there are gonna be a million reasons why you do not take this, and I can guarantee you will regret it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now, if you're not happy where your business is now. So, any other questions around that? What's our ID? What your ID code is?
It says ID code.
KWU ID.
Oh,
If you-
yeah.
If you search KWU ID in your email,
I can also go get it for you.
All right. After that, who is signing up? 1, 2, 3, we got 4.
If we get some more today, it's a drawing for $400 off one of your
And
tickets.
it's really fun, actually, to like go there and commit to it and increase your business and find new value. I don't know, if I've taken it 16 different times, I can guarantee you there's value there. Derek always like spoke to it. How many times have you taken it?
Slow learner.
I was like, you,
14.
ooh, I might have
13,
beat you
14,
then.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, any questions? I would love to get 10 of us there today and give someone $400 that they don't have to pay for this. So if you have any other questions or possibly thinking about it, let us know. All right, moving on. All right, we're gonna go past bucket fills because I noticed that everyone doesn't come for the first 5 minutes because they're not gonna bucket fill anybody or tell me something good. And we're on a tight crunch. We do have our R&R today. It's at Baja House. Do we have anything to say about that, Rick?
Yeah, so me and Hudson, Jordan, and Sherry will be there drinking some Dos Equis. And
Oh,
if,
that's very
if you
specific.
guys show up and don't think that we're the most interesting people in the world, we'll buy you Dos Equis.
I'm so in. I'm so in.
If you remember the commercial.
Yes,
anyway.
absolutely.
There you go.
I got it.
No, but honestly, it's a really great opportunity to get to know other agents in the office, to talk about different things in regards to what your struggles might be in the business or in the market right now. So I don't know if you have a topic in mind or if it's more of just kind of get to know each other and have a good time.
Yeah, have a good time. And then we also want to talk about what it looks like now that school is starting, things are shifting in the market, with, buyers and sellers because, 50% or more of everyone is putting their kids back into school. So what are we going to do going into the fall, in order to make sure that we keep the business going?
Can I be really honest, what everyone does during the fall? So like, once October hits, everyone goes into hibernation and they're like, I'm gonna get back to my goals in January 1st. And plus, the holidays are coming up. Also why we do gold in October, right? Because that is essentially setting you up for January. Does anybody know how long it takes to take your lead gen and to get them to actually close? 60 to 90 days is what that's gonna take you, right? So there's not always a now business with that lead gen. So if you wanna get your year started, that's a huge reason and a huge place to actually get it started. Okay,
Will you
excited.
be there encouraging us, Amy?
Yeah, I gotta drop the little man off at home and then I'm coming back. By little man, I mean Huck.
I thought you meant me.
He'll drop you off at Baja.
Nice.
Who's gonna go to happy hour tonight? Cause we always get more participation in that. All right. Okay, next. You're going. Okay, so this is the wrong location. However, we are gonna talk about different, like, if you guys were here or you watched it, from Mega Camp, which by the way, was an amazing, experience. I was gonna wear the hat today and then I got a late response from Heather, so I just wore the boots instead.
Nice.
Cause I didn't wanna like freak everybody out. So we have an opportunity to get 6 CE credits. Yes, 6 CE credits. And I know that that's starting early. However, it has to do with Google. And again, Google also goes into the AI stuff that they talked about in Mega Camp. So if you are not aware of how to do that and how to get leads from that without even paying, this is an opportunity for you. Number one, most of us are not doing this. I know this because I've checked up on most of your websites or your Google profiles. It talks about reviews. And again, you get 6 CE credits for $40. You're not going to get it any cheaper than that. It's in person. Not only is it a teaching class, he teaches it, he shows you, and then you do it. So it's actually an applied class. So this is a huge opportunity for everyone. We're flying him in. We're actually doing this with the Edina Market Center. It's going to be at the St. Louis Park Rec Center. So parking is great. It's centrally located. It's right off of Highway 100. So again, sign up for this because we do have limited seating for this as well. But it's 6 CE credits for $40. It's learn, show you, and then apply the actual topic. And you're going to be 6 credits ahead because we've never taught this class before. Oh, I love this slide. So we have the holiday party coming up on December 4th, and we tell you this in August and July because everyone's calendar in December and even November ends up like just getting mucked up with a whole bunch of events and parties. So we want you to be there for this one. So put it on your calendar. It is from usually like 5 to 9-ish, isn't it? Like it's 6 to 9, 10-ish. And we always say light hors d'oeuvres, but it's pretty heavy hors d'oeuvres, quite honestly. And it's just fun. It's a great opportunity to get to know each other. You do have a +1 that you can bring, whoever that is. If it's another agent from a different company, that's awesome. But if it's your spouse or partner, that's fine too. Any questions around that at all? Okay. Family reunion. We just got back from Mega Camp and it was the lonely threesome here, which was me, Candy, and Heather. And I have a ton of information to give you in upcoming team meetings and potentially a class. However, again, I have went to so many Mega Camps and the information that was brought this particular time, not only was information, but it was how to apply it. And again, they've created a playbook. So if you guys listen during some of the meetings, I always show you a play from an actual agent. We have the 3rd volume of that playbook now. Some of it has to do with AI, some of it has to do with Google, some of it has to do with all the things that you're going to need in your business to complement the relationships that you already have. And if anyone read my newsletter from yesterday, AI is not going to take over by any way, shape, or form. But if you are not jumping on that train, your business is going to look very different in a year to 3 years from now. Because I mean, I actually had an agent respond to that newsletter because he read it. And the only reason he was chosen after the interview was because they said they plugged his name into AI to see what his reviews were on Google as well as what his experience was. So if you think people are not doing that, you are sadly mistaken. And if you're in buyer appointments that they're asking random questions, that's because they're going on to ChatGPT and saying, what question should I ask my agent when interviewing them? So you should probably write that exact same thing so that you know what those answers are, because it's happening more and more and more. So I don't know if anyone's experienced that. Yeah, Wendy.
You know, I'm on that pivot shift mastermind every morning, and there was somebody on the other day that said their client came to them and had done ChatGPT on what they should offer on a property and came telling the agent what they thought they should be offering on the property based on what ChatGPT told them. So they think they're all armed and dangerous now, which, you know, I mean, it's not entirely a bad thing that you know about that, but we do need to be prepared that that's what the people we're working with.
Well, and it's not always accurate, right? But what it is getting is the people that are using it. So that's the information that it is getting, right? And then it's educating itself with that information. So if you wanted to educate on you, you've got to be feeding it information. And then there's a really cool thing where you can script with a chatbot, and then it tells you how great your conversation was. So for all the people that are like, oh, I don't want my peers to know how bad I am at scripting, and I'm just going to practice on my clients and screw up and not get them. Now we're going to introduce to you actually how to script with AI, and it tells you and gives you feedback, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. So there will be some of that rolled out in the next few weeks coming from us. However, family reunion is coming up in February, and you guys are gonna be like, that's really far out. No, it is not, because if I ask you in December, you're gonna say your February is already booked. The early bird special, right? So that means it's what, $7.99, goes away in 60 days.
99 right now when you go online.
Okay, so that's what it is. In 60 days, that goes away. However, our incentive to you is the first 10 people that act, which is funny that you use 10 people, the first 10 people to sign up for that, we are going to put in a drawing for a $50, or $500 gift card to the flight, to go to family reunion. It's only the flight to go to family reunion because we really want you to be there. Or it could be the hotel, wherever you want. It's $500 towards it. If you want it towards the ticket, great, we can give you that as well. I guess not, because you've already bought it. So it's flight or hotel, and it's gonna be a drawing for the first 10 people that sign up. Don't miss out on that. I mean, there's opportunity for you to have some cash, back, so it doesn't cost as much. Who is interested in going to family reunion? Jason. Okay, we got some people here. Okay, awesome. All right,
Jason.
Cinch, sorry, everything took a little longer than what one had thought in the first part. So we want to welcome, Cinch Home Warranty, and then we might have to go through, by the way, numbers next week with everything. And then they also provided lunch. So I don't know.
I'll open the joke though, huh?
Oh, you can open up with whatever you want to.
Sure. What's the best pan to make sushi in? Anybody?
That's what?
The best
Pan.
pan to make sushi in? Japan.
Ah.
I was gonna say it, and I was like, I don't know.
Did you know
That's
it?
No, I've never heard that.
Okay.
You know, I'm just
That was good.
quick-witted.
Yeah, I like it. Well, thanks for having me here today. I appreciate it. I brought some slides to be official. We can move to the next one. Just,
We're both the right one.
oh, man.
Oh, no, important part of the transaction.
Yeah, but I don't think this one's supposed to like scroll in, so let's
Sorry about that.
click again and see. What happens. Oh, well, here we go.
Here we go.
No, it's okay. Why it's important for sellers. So, additional protection post-close. So the one thing I'll say about this, you can read all these things, but what I ran into recently, I had a conversation with a broker of an office that's very close to here, just to the northwest. And he was telling me, I think the biggest thing that we run into here that we don't think about is the liability protection that it brings to you and your sellers. He's actually having an issue right now with a transaction where the sellers have been dragged back into an issue with an AC. About a month after the close, the AC failed, and the buyers have taken the sellers to court over the AC. A full month after the transaction had closed, and I was talking to him, and he said, "Yeah, I don't really think that the buyers really have a case, but that being said, the sellers still have to deal with this. They still have to come back to court. It's still, the agents still have to be part of this as well." And when you think about this could have just been as easy as, did you place a claim? And when I think about, our warranties cost, on the sell side, if you want to put one on, you could do it for like $538. So for $538, all of this could have been avoided. So I have an agent that last year did 68 deals on the list side as a part of his net sheet, and that's the exact reason that he doesn't. Every year his goal is to do 100 sides and make $1 million, and on almost every listing he puts a warranty just so that he doesn't have to run into that issue. Let's try the next one. Why buyers need the protection on the home. That first one is a brand new statistic that I read on CBS News. 59% of Americans this year have less than I mean, they're a set of new tires away from not making a house payment. And I bet all of you have run into something like that. I mean, stuff's expensive. I saw a quote for a new water heater that they did like a good, better, best. The billboard companies out there these days do this. They come in and they bid you, and they're like, hey, you can get a new one for like, the good is $2,400. The better is $3,800. I saw one where the best was $6,800 for a water heater. And I told that client, I said, just go on Home Depot and look up like a 40-gallon naturally aspirated gas water heater and see how much that is. Look at how much that company that you called out there is marking up what they're putting. Because we all know that water heater is like at most $800.
Naturally aspirated to code though.
Well, that's just with the flu, where it's just, it's just the old standard water heaters. I don't think they have to be power vented.
Yeah, that's code, it's code to have them.
Yeah, they don't have to be power vented.
No.
That's just a standard water heater. I mean, for $800, I'm like, they're marking that up $6,000. I kind of feel like we save new homeowners from themselves. They just pick up the phone and call anybody, and all of a sudden they pay $7,000 for a water heater. That's why I think they're great for buyers. We go on to the next screen. And this is the sad truth. I actually saw this. I subscribed to Family Handyman. When people say they just don't build things like they used to, just let this soak in, and I'll talk a little bit about. I know I was asked up here. I know there's been conversations about using these for rental properties. A little bit of a discussion about using home warranty for rental properties. I want to talk a little bit about. We actually have 3 offerings. We're the only home warranty company that I know of that has 3 offerings. We've got a traditional plan, in-network, use our provider. We've got a bring your own provider. So you file a claim, you can call whoever you want to come out and fix it. Or we have a monthly plan, which is really great for those kind of rental plans. This one's $62, and you pay for it monthly. All 3 of those are available for us. I have a lot of property managers that the smart thing to do, put it into your lease and make sure you add the verbiage that you're going to follow the warranty company's process for the repairs, so that if it takes a week for them to order the parts to get there, that you don't get any pushback on the idea of, hey, it's taking a little bit longer like it to. And I also have property managers that work it into, they just write it into the lease that the tenant is going to pay for it as part of the monthly lease payment. But it's very effective to manage those costs as far as repairs go. Oh, there's the 3 plans. Exactly. Any questions about any of this?
And you'll be around while they're eating and whatnot for any
Absolutely.
questions and
For anything afterwards?
awesome.
And there's, boy, look at that JCPenney portrait. That's gorgeous. Scan the text or scan the QR code. What?
I forgot about JCPenney
They're
portrait.
still around. Scan the QR code or open up a text and text to 88500. Type in JPLUME. That'll pop up a digital business card that you can download. There'll be a pop-up box where you put in your information. That sends you to me so that I can put you in my phone, and I'll know who's calling me. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Well, it's Heather now.
Yeah, it is.
Heather gets to give the cultural award. I'm not sure why she's leaving because I'm not giving it, but
Yeah, he was just here.
do you want me to do like a come on and see if he's anywhere around or?
I think he is like around. And in the recording. Okay, I did get the cultural award last month from Courtney, so thank you so much. I am giving it to Jason Johnson.
Hey.
I would give this to Jason Johnson because, you know, he hasn't been with us for too long. He came in, he capped in his first year. He's here every morning lead genning. He gives several referrals to Candy for agents to get into real estate. He's already added to his downline.
And when she says here in the morning, no one probably sees him because he's like here in the morning. Like he is on his way out at like 9 a.m. So he's real early in the morning kind of person.
And it's every day, and he's in here doing his lead gen, and he's gotten into production very, very quickly. He is, you know, another thing that Lydia and I always love, his files are perfect. Because he uses Profile, but they're still, everything's submitted on time, they're perfect, and He's also very appreciative to all of us on the leadership team. And he's just been a really great addition to our Keller Williams office, and I just love having him here. So this is for Jason.
Welcome to Amy. We are not, I don't know. Not a ton of time,
Yeah.
but either kind of, you know, scoop past some of these things. That does not mean that we don't appreciate all of you, but I do want to be conscious of your time as well. Okay, then we have some cappers this month. So we've got Bethany, Scott, and Marie. Multiple different times. There's some people that cap in a month. Bethany is one of them. So she reset, capped in a month. But I really want to congratulate Maureen. Maureen capped for her first time last year, and she reset and she capped in less than 2 months. So and she worked really hard to get to that place with you know, I think she'd speak to ups and downs. So congratulations to her as well. I think she might be on. She is. So congratulations, Maureen. July numbers, as always, if you do not see a number up here that's accurate, let us know. With the listings, they do have to be active status. It's not withheld or coming soon. That will be when that does happen. And if you say, oh, we sold it offline and it goes to pending, it will still be on there because it went active at one point in time before it went pending. Fair? Yeah. All right, so for our top individuals listings taken, we've got Kevin, Judo Molly. We've got Blume with 4, Kevin with 690, 399, Jim with 315, and Molly with 400. All right, closed volume for July, and remember, this is July's number. So we've got Jordan Reescraft with stop for a second. It has been a long time when we've had over 1 million for all of our individual agents. That is remarkable. Like, not only did we have 1 million, we have 2.1 with individual agents. So, I mean, we're doing some great work here. So congratulations on that. Closed GCI,
Let's see.
we have Jordan in the number 1 spot, followed by. All right, so top individual teams, listings taken. We have Faith in Real Estate with 1. Closed volume, the Jose Hilario team with 2.8. Closed GCI, we have the Jose Hilario team.
I'm trying.
Top teams, listings taken, Srempa team with 3, the Wyland group with 2. Okay, so I'm really excited about that because I think it's overflow, right, from our listing contest, but we're getting quite a few listings, which is also us taking market share. So awesome work on that. Listings taken volume, Srempa team with 2.1. All right, closed volume for the top teams. Srempa team with 6.1. Okay, those are amazing, amazing volume numbers. Closed GCI, we have the Srempa team in the number 1 spot. Right, the top groups listings taken, we have the Homers group with 9. Listings taken volume, Homers group with 8.5. All right, closed volume, we've got Homer's group with 7.9. You know what I really love about that is those top 3 are like always super competitive. So as they keep getting closer and closer, it's just really fun. I'm not competitive at all. Bethany Nelson, real estate. Listings taken for commercial. Being commercial team with 1, Stedman. Listings taken volume, me and commercial team with 3.6. Oh, I feel like that's been a while. I really need to a lot of reading. Okay, so year over year, how much time do we have? We have 3 minutes. So it's 2025 versus 20, it's our market center. So year over year, this year we had 118 closed units versus 2024. Can I just say that that is very different than the last few months, right? When we were talking about volume versus units, we were a little bit behind on units, quite honestly, in our market center, and that shifted a little bit in July, where we've outpaced units. In regards to volume, we're still outpacing. We closed 60 million versus 49 million. Listings taken, we took 43 versus 67. Listings taken volume, we're at 32 million versus 42. Listings sold, we sold 64 versus 35, which is a huge jump. And then listings sold volume, we sold 33.2 versus 21.7. Contracts written, we are at 123 versus 88. This was another number that we were falling a little bit behind on in the previous months. So watching that kind of come up is a huge indicator for what our next months are, which is a great positive for our market center. Contracts written volume, we're at 3.8 versus 46.8. And closed GCR, we were at 1.7 versus 1.3. Again, that's what's in your bank account. So gross commission income, that's how much we paid you as agent. So that was a little bit higher than it was last year. Profit share, we're at 7,946 versus 3,665. What questions or observations do we have this?
I heard I got a text. I was leaving with Derek for a listening appointment. I apologize.
No. Do you want to say it again?
Oh, I don't.
Just do it again. Do it again.
Oh, I gave you the culture award thing. It's your dedication to your lead gen, being here every day, really following the red book, just being here constantly. I also said you've already added to your downline. You refer a lot of people for us to get into real estate. I see your dedication. You capped in your first year. It's just been, you've been a great addition to our office here, and just love everything you're doing.
What observations do you guys make from these numbers? I mean, what shifted for everybody, right? I mean, because a lot of the conversation is like, I can't turn the buyers, or I feel like I'm behind on units. So obviously something changed, right? Something shifted where, we closed more units, we have more contracts written. Did we decide that we were going to start lead generating, or did the clients we already have come off the fence?
I wonder if people got or us.
Okay. I mean, they could have, right? Like they now know it's not shifting down to 3 anymore. Yeah. Okay, fair. What else?
true that they say July is like kind of a slower month?
Usually, yeah.
Like 123 for written contracts is really fun.
I find it very interesting because people always talk about seasonality, right? And July typically is a slower month. And the fact that July is that, not just closed units, but the contracts written means that our August is gonna, and our August and September are gonna look very different, most likely than they did last year. So, it's truly about how many people you talk to, right? It's not always seasonality, because if you take market share, it doesn't matter. Talk to more people, get into business with more people.
Why, I'm just curious, the one thing that's negative there is the listings taken volume, but why is that?
I don't know, it's real, I mean, that's an interesting, I mean, because we did take quite a few, however, yeah, go ahead.
Look at the difference of listings sold too. I mean, that's huge.
I know.
Work was done from January to.
Right, and that listings taken volume being down like that is certainly, should be an encouragement for us to be really a lot more tenacious about picking up listings in August and September. You know, 'cause that's just, you know, used to.
There. What else? Colleen, I don't know what Shane is talking about back there.
I don't know, but it's funny.
Something's funny. It's something about my earring or something. I don't know.
They're kind of cool.
Moving on. Colleen.
I was gonna say, it reminds me that buyers, sellers, realtors talk about the market and accuse the market of either helping them or hurting them. And over the last 21 years, I've learned that there's always a market. It's either easy or it's hard. It's either a buyer or a seller. And easy and hard depends more on your frame of mind than it does what is actually happening. And I've learned about me that it's not about the market, it's about me. And if I'm getting up and doing my job every day.
So let's dissect that a little bit. Accusing the market, because I think all agents do this, right? Like, oh, well, listings are down. Nobody wants to sell. They're going back to school. Nobody wants to talk about anything. I don't necessarily believe that, right? So maybe they don't want to sell right now. That doesn't mean you can't meet with them and talk about listing and actually going live in September, right? So in my opinion, when I sold and had my team, I felt like I was the busiest and the most successful in the down markets because everyone else was down on themselves, right? And their mindset was like, oh, you can't sell real estate in this time period. There's always opportunity. And quite honestly, during those types of market, there's more opportunity than in the high, right? Because you're just like constantly in those high markets, every one of you were exhausted. People were calling, you didn't want any more clients because you were already tired. You couldn't get them a home. In the down markets, you get to actually build relationships with people. Nobody is listening to me right now, so I'm just gonna stop talking. Like, as you're all looking at their phones. But like, that's real, right? It's like, the opportunity is there in any market. Are you willing to take it or not? There are people that are consistent with their business, no matter what the market is like. You know what the difference is? Maybe they're lead generating 1 hour in a really great market, right? And they're just, it's like coming in. In the down markets, they're lead generating 2 to 3 hours a day because they had to shift what they were doing to get that same business. What we don't want to do is shift, right? And if you're not noticing that, that's because you don't know your numbers. And then we just have to like go backwards and be like, okay, what was I doing to get this business? And if I want to get that business again, what do I have to change and shift if my business is here? Fair? Okay, next. Are we spin the wheel next? We're not even going over this. We're going to do this a different time. This is too much. All right, let's go to spin the wheel. During spin the wheel, we can talk about wants, needs, new buyers. If your name is on here, come up and you can spin the wheel for some cash.
And grab some lunch and start eating.
And grab some lunch.
And are there any wants and needs?
Is she listening at all, or is she like randomly walking up with her?
Stop work.
Here.
But I need help.
Okay, where are your buyers?
South Minneapolis, Fulton neighborhood, ideally, just south of Lake Harriet. Yes, very specific. Under 700, probably close to 650.
I know, they're my house.
Updated, yeah.
You have a
older.
second one of those?
I did.
Yeah,
How many
How many
bed baths?
yeah, we're in multiple. And there's nothing,
How many bed baths?
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're not finding.
Don't come.
Okay, all right, so it's been like, yeah. I also have a buyer who's looking for a in Minneapolis. For a what? Under 400,000. Two bedroom.
Would they consider St. Paul?
Give that a spin.
They consider St. Paul.
What do you got? What do you got?
No? Okay. We're at St. Paul.
You can do,
You
can do a family day.
Happy hour.
Happy hour.